Hey there everybody, welcome back to Underdeveloped. Here are with a follow-up to some reactions we did previously. We previously reacted to The Best Man and the sequel to Best Man Holiday. Now please join us for our review of The Best Man, the final chapters.
Final chapters, yeah.
Yeah, end of an era.
End of an era. Yes, Best Man is one of our best reviewed episodes, and it's one of our more higher reviewed movies. You know, but like it's surprising because it was like very low for like very long. You know, and some movies, especially movies, it's like of like the black, more like the black culture. It always like starts off slow, and then those like sprout out. Like we did, like we react to Get Out and Us, and those are pretty low right now. But I guarantee about a year it'll be in the thousands. By the way, watch those two reactions. You know, Get Out and Us.
Yeah, they're both very good. Some good shit we did for our Halloween special. So.
And we deeply apologize for not being able to react to the episodes, but we are currently binging Wednesday. We also have a bunch of other stuff that we're uploading. Like we have 3 of the shows that we're uploading, so we don't want to oversaturate. You know,
we have 5 of the shows.
Bunch of movies.
Yeah, it's a lot of ones.
Bunch of movies going on.
The point is, we have a whole lot of content coming out right now. Yeah, as much as we would love to react to all these episodes, and we honestly would have if you did this fucking weekly Peacock instead of
it was weekly. Like we could handle it, but like no, we got that.
Oh god, those first 2 episodes.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes were garbage. The first 2 episodes just did not. When I say garbage, I mean if you wanted to see the characters together, sure. But those characters are not even really the characters that we left behind. They're almost very different.
The only one who was actually in character was fucking Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby of all. Like Shelby sucked in the first movie. Her dialogue was very contrived. She was very annoying. But I guess that was the purpose. The second movie, she was kind of the same thing, but just because of like what her arc in that movie was just great. You know, like she really had
funny in that.
So she really killed it. And then this one, she shined in the first episodes because she had like the most funniest, outrageous arc that worked, and it felt like her. These characters just don't feel like them. Like, and it kind of undoes they kind of undo all the progress that they made. Like Lance specifically.
Oh god, Lance was handled so horribly.
So at the end of the Best Man Holiday, Lance, Mia died. He's heartbroken about it, but he mended his relationship with Harper. And the book came out 10 months later, and the movie ended 10 months later. And he seemed pretty healthy. He was holding Mia, the baby, Harper's baby, and and they just seemed good. They seemed right. He seemed clean. He's wearing his cross. Everything's cool. And now we forward another year, like he's a fucking hot mess. Like we see the first scene is him in the fucking hotel with his fucking wiener out. With whores. Straight up whores, like whores, quote unquote, from Taye Diggs, built in a factory. And then we go to DR for Quentin's wedding, and he fucks a whole bunch of them. He fucks like 5 people within the realm of a day.
Not even. He fucks 5 women at 5 different occasions in afternoon.
Yeah, right. Before we have this, so less than a day.
And with a 6th one that night.
Yes. My freaking problem is that it undoes his character. Yes, I know back in the days he was a slut before Mia.
But he's not that kid anymore.
Exactly, like, yeah. The first movie was about Lance finally like putting his dick to rest and actually committing to someone. Mia, right? And the second movie he was committed. He's all there, family man. Even after all the shit with Harper, he did it, you know what I mean? And he stuck by his side all the way to the moment she died, and he was heartbroken about it. And he turned to faith. So it's like to see him this like a year later, I can't be in the house, I can't be around the kids, everything reminds me of her. It's almost like he got off of a breakup, some shit. You know what I mean? Like of a bad breakup, or like a divorce. That's how he was moving after that. Your wife died in your arms. I mean, like that's a different kind of pain. You want to be there for your kids. You probably want to be around for your wife. You probably would be at home smelling up a pillow because it still reminds you of her. You'd be wallowing in fucking self-pity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he is kind of doing it in the version 2, but it's like more so it's like you think your wife would be cool with you fucking a bunch of random sluts. Like, to me, it was really selfish, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Lance was better than that, It kind of undoes, it kind of just reverts him back to his college days. I'm like, not digging that,
Yeah, I didn't either.
I guess he probably thought it'd be more entertaining to watch. To me, I just hate that first character. And my friend made a point that some people process their grief differently. Fuck that. I'm not buying it. No. I don't buy it. If I'm not buying it, you're doing something wrong.
No, like the thing is, if that was right after she died, that would be one thing. Yeah. But to go on for months, being totally fine, then a whole year later, He's like,
Yeah,
that? Come
and the
on.
movie already ended. The last movie ended 10 months. So even if he went through that dark period, you'd have got over it by now.
Yeah, because he seemed fine by then.
Yeah, he seemed great. He seemed a great. Harvard was in a great place. Now to see you like a year after that, you now all of a sudden you you was in denial for like 10 months. The fuck out of it. You're like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And the opening for episode 1 of this kind of fucking spoils a major fucking.
It really does.
It spoils that pretty much Harper someone's gonna end up with Jordan, which is like, okay, that's a big fucking spoiler. So now we know what to expect. Like, really, dude? So it's like now we're expecting a ball to drop. You could have surprised us, like.
Yeah.
You know,
it would have been more surprising. Like, we said we're just waiting for it to happen.
And talk about Jordan. The first episodes, they just know a random ass love interest that they do nothing with, and then Lance meets some chick that runs the resort, and they kind of set her up in a most contrived, doesn't make any sense kind of way.
The worst love interest I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
This fucking wedged in there for some reason. Like, the last thing on Lance's arc is a marriage. That's not what he needs. That's not.
He goes through so much in the show already. He doesn't need that.
Yeah, he really doesn't. I mean, like, let him. Like, they had this whole thing about he needs to find his purpose and his passion. Especially now that Mia's going, the kids are getting older.
He's retired.
Great arc. Yeah. And retired. Great arc. Fantastic arc. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's good enough. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they should be the last thing on his mind. After Mia, why would he want anybody else, at least for the moment? I like the idea of them, like, bringing, like, Jordan and Harper together, because it's like, it doesn't teach Jordan a valuable lesson that she needs to know. Harper learned that lesson. She didn't. You know what I mean? So what? She just gets what she always wanted this whole time, essentially, Harper on a platter. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, it's about your, I mean, she did find growth, but it's like still, you know what I mean? Like, she needs to move the fuck on.
She really does.
Because, I mean, Brian was great in the first movie. They seem to be going on a good track, and then we don't see anything other than, oh, yeah, this wasn't happily ever after. After you told us that you loved him in Holiday, just to fucking end it with him because, it's not the happily ever after. But it's like, dude, because you know why you're doing it? Because you're still hoping to get with Harper. And that's what was holding Harper back in the first movie. But Harper got over that. Harper learned his lesson. And he marries a beautiful lady, you know, a beautiful woman, you know, Sanaa Lathan, and they had a beautiful child, and they was living good. You know what I mean? They obviously have to break up because they'll end up together. So we, you know what I mean? So I mean, it was good because Robin never really had a character. It was handled well. Like she never really had a character. Robin was more just like the supportive wife. Yeah. But now we're kind of giving her layers and giving her, like, she wants to visit the world. She wants to cook good food. She wants to experience culture, you know.
She wants to move to fucking Ghana.
She was moved to Ghana. First it was doing to stay in DR in 2015. But when we fast forward, it took the future, 2022 in present day, she wanted to go to Ghana, you know. And Harper just doesn't get it. Most of the series, honestly, was just us looking at the screen like, Harper, no, you're doing the wrong thing. No, that's not how you, if you want to really keep your wife, that's not how you go about it, blah, blah, blah.
But he doesn't really want to keep his wife.
But he doesn't want to because, even he loves George, so none of them really learned their lessons. No. You know what I mean? But,
pretty much all of the real crap in the series is contained to the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
From episode 3 onward, it's mostly really good stuff.
It's mostly, It feels like the best man again.
It really does. Like, everyone's in character. You have some funny moments. You have good drama. Things don't really feel cartoonish or out there. Things feel kind of
grounded, but
more
funny.
Grounded. Yeah. I mean, it's still funny. But yeah, it's like, it feels more grounded by comparison. Yeah. It feels like the logical conclusion of what the best man would be.
I always felt like, I told this to Nick before too, like, it'll be interesting to see these characters, because it's highly unlikely that it's just a group of, like, college kids, just black college kids is going to be major successes, you know? But they are, and it's cool. It's good for representation. But even so, like, I always was curious to see successful black people, how they operate in the modern world with all these, you know, like, tense racial, you know what I mean, you know, like, basically the age of wokeness, tense racial, you know what I mean, moments, like, in the riots and all that stuff, and COVID and everything, like, just to see how they will operate and how people will look to them, you know, and we kind of got that. We kind of saw them, how they operate. We saw how they use social media. We saw they implement more, like, modern, like, topics conversation, like Lance's son, for instance. He's non-binary. That's a big thing happening right now. A lot of people, like, especially the people who are gay, whoever else, trans, they tend to self-identify as, you know, they, them, you know.
Yeah, this is an era where younger people feel more confident and, you know, they feel more, you know, they feel like they have more freedom to explore their sexuality and their gender identity and stuff like that.
And they tap into that,
and it's very interesting to see a father like father like Lance, someone who truly does love his kids, that was still very, very old school.
Yeah,
he's in terms of that.
Dude is Christian. He's a man's man. He's alpha male. He's Sigma. He is red pill. You know, he's that. You know, but he's a good dude. But put that with that kind of child. You know what I mean? But I mean, this is not new news. Like fucking Maddie Johnson's son is gay, very flamboyant, and also Dwayne Wade's son just came out as trans like a year or two ago. So and there's no reason. There's no like big secret why they chose Lance to have that kind of kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. They kind of following trend. You know.
And everyone kind of reacts to it in a way that feels very appropriate for who they are as characters. Like I understand, like I get like. It makes sense for Jordan to be the one who's like more immediately supportive and open to new things.
I mean, she's in the world of media, so
yeah, it makes way more sense for her to be the one person who's like easily the most accepting of that.
And he works for her, so yeah, she would be the one to know and have to accept it.
Yeah,
makes the most sense.
But then you have like other people, and then you have other people in the middle, like fucking quit, and who's like, wait, what the hell is this shit? I mean, I'm not getting involved in this shit. I don't know what the hell this shit is. That's his stance. And then you have Lance, who's like, no. No, it's okay. You'll like football, and you'll be normal, and you'll do this, and you'll do that, and that's how he is, though, a good chunk of this.
But, I mean, overall, it was a nice arc, because I like him to mature and see the world differently. And I felt that was and I felt that was done well. I like that him and Harper, you know what I mean, are back again, because I really like that friendship. So they're back again. They have one or two spats. Overall, they are buds again. Too bad we don't get enough scenes with them. You know what I mean? Unless we're in the group. Like, there are some scenes with them alone, but not much. I really wish, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's nice seeing them interact like that. Like, it's nice seeing their journey.
A big aspect of their friendship was their, you know what I mean, was their bond. It was like, so it was like, I wanted more of them alone.
They were like, really close. So like this until until the bombs all dropped in the first movie.
Yeah, and then like, and then even with, they only hang out as the boys. And so it was like, I kind of want to see him and Harper just hang out just together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Though, that being said, we do have a lot of great moments of them hanging out as the boys, especially near the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The way they did it at the end of the series, it was like the second to last scene or whatever else. Like, they just, like, Harper was down in the dumps because he's divorced Robin. You know, him and the daughter moved to Ghana. Obviously, suppose if you haven't seen the show, don't watch this review. You know, like, they kind of, this moment kind of felt like the ending of, like, The Sopranos or Friends, the way it was set up and constructed. Like, they just kind of, like, nothing was really said. They kind of just knew what time it was. Like, you know, first it was Lance. He said, "Yo, what's up?" You know what I mean? And Harper didn't say anything else. Harper just walked away. You know what I mean? He left the door open, walked away, did his thing, sat back down and sulked in his couch while he came in, and then following right behind him out of nowhere, we see Merch. Merch has the bag of food, whatever, you know what I mean? And then not too long after, you know, Quentin comes with the drinks. And they all just, you know what I mean, all of them just kind of, you know.
They'll get down to business. Lance sets the table, Merch gets the snacks.
We get the snacks.
And then Quentin's mixing drinks.
Exactly. And then, you know, he's like, "Yo, we need a fourth, man." And without some word, he just gets up and they start drinking and they have fun and he laugh. Beautiful ending. You could end the scene. You could end the movie.
That really could have just been.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
I love that moment. I love that sequence in general. But even so, like, like Robin, she had a good arc, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, I just been a supportive wife, but it's like, when do I get what I want, you know? But then she also has the problem too, because she kind of goes into, like, you know, I'm like,
because she goes to kind of crazy levels.
Yeah, she goes to crazy levels of like
she wants to move her daughter to a completely different continent, and that's a lot to ask.
And on top of that, you know what I mean? Like, what built them to that is like she also like went through a lot of business ideas that didn't work out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And Harper wasn't really feeling that, and that was kind of the catalyst. And then Harper wants to move to Upper West Side. She's like, that shit is bougie. I want to live in Harlem. People, you know what I mean. They're just fundamentally different. They're fundamentally different people, and it kind of ties into what Harper was saying in the opening and last scene of the movie. Like, we kind of just get married because we think that's the thing to do. But how often do we really meet our soulmate? You know what I mean? It's like, that's some real shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I think they did explore it. And they show like how even a successful looking marriage can easily crumble. You know what I mean? Because deep down, now it's not about success or whatever else, and all the real challenges of marriage is more about now. It's like, now that shit is pretty much clear, and we both doing our thing. It's like, do we actually connect as a couple? And we really don't.
You know, I feel like this really is one of the better divorce stories I've ever seen. Because usually, most of them, it's like one person does something very egregious. It's very easy to side with the other person. But here, it's nothing that dramatic.
Different people.
Yeah, what it really is, it comes down to is they're both good people. And they were both good, and they both lived well enough with each other for a long time. But at the end of the day, they're just too different to really fully compatible.
Harper wants to do his thing with his book. She wants to do what she wants to go away and cook in Ghana
because experience
culture.
Because fundamentally Harper is the kind of guy who's always reaching. He always wants the next big thing. He's always trying to improve himself. He's always trying to gain more and more success. It's the constant climb upwards. But then you have his wife Robin. She is the absolute opposite, where she just wants to calm down, just relax, just embrace the world around her, like fucking enjoy the little things, shit like that. Yeah. So they're just they both need somebody more like themselves in that respect, and that's why Jordan just makes a lot of sense for Harper as a partner. She
supports him. They also are best friends, so they can never really run out of things to talk about. They know each other. They're attracted to each other. Shelby.
Quentin's journey is very interesting because both him and Shelby are pretty much going through the same type of journey. They just reach their conclusions in very different ways.
Getting fucking old.
Yeah, that's literally what their stories are about. But Quentin is they're both denying it, but Quentin is put in a scenario where he kind of can't stop denying it because he has a heart attack, and which means a lot of things. It means you have to cut back out what you eat, what things it changes your diet. You have to exercise more. No drinking, no smoking, no pot. All the things that Quentin loves, and of course that also means less sex because sex gets the blood pumping, and too much blood pumping means your heart's a little too active. Heart's a little too active for that age. Ooh, that's bad. So. The scenes of them fucking his hot wife over and over and over again, it's finally starting to catch up, and he has to live with that. He has to live with all these new restrictions, but eventually Shelby kind of reaches a similar conclusion where she just has to embrace aging to an extent, where it's like, I know I'm doing all these things to make myself look younger, or at least as young as I can make myself. But fuck it, we're just old.
A bitch is getting old, yeah.
Yeah, bitch is getting old.
First off, merch, so basically they're making unfinished business. Harper's booking to a movie. And in the movie, when the trailer was coming out, Merch saw his portrayal, he kind of felt like he made him feel bad, and it kind of triggers like his overall problem, which is like people don't respect his shit. They think he's a bitch ass nigga. They play him out, whatever else. And it's also spurred on too by when he becomes almost a statistic in these streets because Karen came up to him and started accusing him of and he ended up fighting over a taxi, and then he almost gets killed by the cops or whatever else. Like, not exactly, but we could tell that's where it could have went.
Yeah,
we know this so well. But even so. So that all the catalyst for him to like finally start starting to release his aggression, and he releases aggression through what we know. Through like just fighting, throwing his hands. So he gets into kickboxing.
He becomes a mixed martial artist.
Yeah, mixed martial artist. He actually fights in the ring, and he gets good at it. And that's pretty much his arc as well. So it wasn't as compelling as like Harper's or Lance's, but even Quentin. But it's there, and it is cool to see, and it does give him something to do.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, I feel like he was used way better here than he was in Best Man Holiday, for example. Yeah. I really wasn't a big fan of his arc in that movie.
I didn't mind the Best Man Holiday, but I think most of his best arcs come from the first and third.
Overall, I am glad this got made, because it is nice to see them all back together again. But with that being said, I don't feel like this is really all that necessary. I feel like the Best Man Holiday really was like a great ending. It would have been like... It really would have been a perfect way to end the franchise, but at least we did get a different conclusion here. It's still a good conclusion, but it's not as strong as the one that came before.
Yeah, it was fitting,
Yes.
And this one was good, but yeah, just it didn't compare to me.
No.
For Best Man Holiday.
No, it didn't need to exist, but it is good though. So if you're a fan of the first two, then by all means do give the show a watch.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, Best Man kind of pulled the team apart a little bit. Best Man Holiday brought everyone back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and mended all those old wounds and put everything back into place.
Yeah.
Unity through tragedy. That was the first. That was the second movie, and I thought that was great. I guess for Best Man chapters, I'll probably give it a first episodes. I'll probably give it an 82. Mainly because of the first two episodes.
I don't know. Thing is, because that's an entire quarter of this show. Because there's 8 episodes, right? an entire quarter of this show is shit.
Yeah.
So, 3/4 is 75, but 75 is a bit low. I'm going to push up to like 78.
Sure.
So, hey, 3/4 of this were very good.
Be honest, I am biased against the show, so I'm getting a little bit higher because I just love the characters. I'm invested in the story.
I mean, they're good characters and mostly good stories.
So, but later, guys, you know, if you like this, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos.
And let us know in the comments what you think about these movies. Which one's your favorite? Which one do you think is the weakest? Please, by all means, share your opinion down below in the comment section.
See you guys.
Yeah. That being said, we'll see you next time, folks.